I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence and how destructive it is. Basically, there's two types of emotional intelligence. One, the standard Daniel Goleman chicanery, and the layman's understanding of it. Okay, so Daniel Goleman basically stole ideas from personality research and relabeled it. It's a form of concept creep, where he took the word intelligence and used it to describe people's emotions and personality rather than what intelligence actually is. Your ability to solve problems and think complex things and infer data. So he made the word intelligent more elastic, and he wasn't the first one to do it. They did it before with the 7 intelligences theory, which was another form of concept creep. Excuse me. So the layman doesn't know that, though. Lay people think it's just being extroverted or saying the right thing, or it's just a magical, mystical word they use to apply to people who they think make them feel good. And half the time it's probably just something else, nothing to do with the words or thoughts or emotions that's caused it. Alright, so it's a concept where in the popular consensus, the popular mind, which allows people to call themselves intelligent when they're the opposite of it, they're actually unintelligent. And it discredits actual intelligence, which can often appear like it's arch enemy, like it's like the two conflict with each other in theory, because emotional, like personality, what emotional intelligence actually is agreeableness and extroversion and conscientiousness, those 3 factors. And other people name it by something else, but it's like, do you agree with people? Are you sympathetic, right? Do you persist? Are you happy at the right moments? So that you can appear, to go along with the group. So things like saying intelligent things that contradict the stupid things that the group believes, even though its actual intelligence would appear emotionally unintelligent. Yeah, so not conforming. Right, so in the context of mass inventions of history, if the concept emotional intelligence had been around, I mean, they did have concepts for personality, but they wouldn't have had statistical analysis to siphon out a group factor which predicts life outcomes in a modern environment. They wouldn't have had that. It would have been different personality variables back then that would have caused success. This is why this idea of a general theory of personalities is absolute nonsense. Because the types of personality needed to succeed socially changes over time, and it's based on constructs more so than actual intelligence, which is based on a raw absolute thing that's real no matter what the society is. Intelligence is always intelligence, no matter if you're on the moon, no matter if you're in a society of flipping AI. It's always the same. It doesn't change. It's perennial. It's a perennial concept that's real, unlike unlike personality theory. Okay, so I don't even know where I'm going with this. I don't even have a plan. But where have I been so far? You know, Daniel Goleman, Howard Gardner's seven intelligences theory, concept creep. So what are the consequences of this type of concept floating around in public at the minute? I've already discussed the conflict of appearing to have this thing called emotional intelligence, which is conformity half the time, and being actually intelligent, because an actual intelligent thing can be non-conformist, which is emotionally unintelligent. So basically, it labels stupid conformists with a word that they shouldn't have applied to them, which is absolute nightmare if you take into consideration the effects that would have on people's habits of employment, habits of friendships, habits of courtship, and therefore the evolution over time of traits within a population. Right? Because it's just going to screw up actually smart people whose IQs are above 125. It's going to screw up men, because testosterone correlates with telling the truth no matter what. It's going to go against, I don't know if it's going to go against religion. If religion is truth focused, then it would go against certain religions as well, because the religions teach you to be principled, okay, whereas emotional intelligence teaches you to be a liar. Emotional intelligence teaches you to manipulate your interpretations of things, your emotions, and change them to please the others, to get, brownie points. That is Machiavellianism. So emotional intelligence is immoral. So we're labeling people who are immoral, hyper emotional, not intelligent, as intelligent. They're getting into the workforce. They're using their magical feelings of what they think their emotional intelligence is and applying it to other people. They're using that as an excuse to label other people as unintelligent when they're actually more intelligent than that person. So they're using that as excuses to do whatever they want. It affects who's getting jobs. And if it affects who's getting jobs, if you're getting more women, nagging women in the workforce, who think they're smart when they're stupid, you know the corollary of that. Lower marriages, lower fertility, dysgenic fertility, and so on. Over time, you're going to be in the Stone Age. Okay, so emotional intelligence is one of the most destructive ideas that the West has ever been, exposed to. Daniel Goleman and also Howard Gardner, the two people that promote concept creep of the word intelligence, have promoted these ideas that dancing is a form of intelligence. Oh God, how stupid can you be? How can I even take this seriously? But excuse me. So what actual intelligence researchers have done to counteract this, chicanery, trickery, is relabel actual intelligence, this thing called GCA, general cognitive ability, or general intelligence, or G factor or something, yeah? And that focuses in on the positive correlations of all the intellectual abilities of the mind. And it analyzes how fast you solve problems and all the types of problems you can solve and how many things you can hold in your head and how fast your brain works. Yeah. So that's what they've done to get away from this, campaign against actual intelligence. But why do these people promote this idea? Why are the emotional intelligence campaigners and the multiple intelligence campaigners, why are they Jewish? Why do they hate IQ research so much? Why is it used as a weapon against actual intelligence? Is it something to do with race differences in intelligence? Is it something to do with the fact that IQ predicts so much? Is it something to do with the fact that IQ predicts all of the Western accomplishments? The fact that black people don't really do well in exams and can't really do jobs like, pilots and things like that. Don't make very good doctors. You're very rarely to get a black doctor. We have to modify the exams to get them in. Even then, it's a risk. IQ predicts why that happens. Correlates with brain size. EI doesn't. Is it something to do with that? It's not just these Jews, but you've got white leftists. They hate IQ research as well. Is it for the same reasons? Is it because IQ research proves the left-wing mindset is entirely destructive and wrong? Is that why it comes under attack? Maybe it is. I'd say it is. It doesn't the fact that IQ is genetic, actual intelligence is genetic, and predicts so much, grills them so hard that it becomes an obsession. So much so that they have to make up false theories to try and prove it wrong and say that the false theories are more pertinent than the other theories. I don't know how conforming to nonsense ideas in a group and acting emotional when you're sitting in a field with nothing in it, in the middle of a desert or in the middle of Europe in the Ice Age, clapping your hands in a dance is going to bring about the survival of your people in harsh environments whenever you're faced with massive problems that need to be solved. How is being smiley and happy and conforming to the group going to invent a car, an airplane? How's it going to invent sewage pipes? How's it going to bring you to think in the future and make up plans to farm and invent farming? How's it going to do that? It's not going to do any of that. Every single thing you see in this environment is a product of the high IQ evolution of Westerners. More specifically so, Northwest European. But Europeans in general, with some other, inventions come from Asia and Arabs and Jews. So, surely, because the left want to believe that everyone's equal and all groups are equal, that makes IQ a target for them, because they think if they can destroy this idea of IQ and intelligence, innate intelligence, then everybody will believe we're all equal. Yeah, obviously that's the reason. And they want to promote diversity in the workforce. So if you're going to get some intelligent white man who knows stuff and doesn't have any time for emotional nonsense and just likes to get the thing done, like the way society should be, you're going to get some diversity hire in HR who's going to say, oh, well, he's not emotionally intelligent, but this low IQ black person, he's all emotionally intelligent. And they'll employ him on that basis, using it as a weapon against native whites in their population. So, this idea of emotional intelligence needs to be destroyed. It's not a real idea. It's not a real concept. It's stolen from personality research. And it needs to be gotten rid of. And the proper education of actual intelligence and the admiration, or at least the acknowledgement and the respect for actual intelligence, needs to return again. For a majority of a lot of reasons, but another reason, one main reason, is to destroy leftism. Leftism dies with the knowledge of actual intelligence research and how it's genetic and how differences exist within populations and between populations and how it's caused by evolution. And it's as simple as that. So, go and learn about actual intelligence. Go and learn about how emotional intelligence is absolute nonsense, and start telling people. Get rid of this idea. And anytime somebody counters intelligence with emotional intelligence, educate them, and then start, asking them why they're using their phone. Is that a product of AI or actual intelligence? Stuff like that. But anyway, that's it.